What's going on, guys? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about why I believe there is absolutely no way that Merab Dvalishvili will beat Sean O'Malley. As we all know, this is going to be the main event of UFC 306 at the Las Vegas Sphere, and one of the craziest pay-per-views of all time. That card really isn't that deep, but what it does have is an amazing main event for the pay-per-view in Sean O'Malley taking on Merab Dvalishvili. And I think that this is going to be a one-sided landslide of a fight where Sean O'Malley is going to dominate all the way through, and I just kind of want to lay out and break down the points on why I think this is going to happen. But first, if you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help support the channel. And while you're doing that, please turn on the post notifications just so you guys are always notified with the latest UFC content when it releases and all the other UFC content that drops daily. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and let's jump right into the video on why I believe Sean O'Malley is going to absolutely dominate Merab Dvalishvili at UFC 306. So, as the main event of UFC 306, I believe Sean O'Malley is going to go in there and dominate Merab Dvalishvili, and I want to talk about two different reasons. I want to talk about the striking discrepancy and the actual ground game and grappling of Sean O'Malley. First off, I want to talk about the easy one of how a lot of people think Sean O'Malley is going to win, and that is going to be in the striking department. Now, Sean O'Malley is a way better striker than someone like Merab Dvalishvili. Merab overextends, he drops his hands, he has a lot of different kinks and quirks in his striking department that aren't really that good, and Sean O'Malley can 100% exploit a lot of those different aspects. Sean O'Malley caught Merab's teammate Aljamain Sterling for the Bantamweight title at UFC 292, where Aljamain Sterling got a little bit antsy from Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley was following the game plan perfectly. Aljo extended a little bit too much, and Sean O'Malley caught him with a beautiful right hand right down the pipe. Something like this could happen with Merab Dvalishvili. He's another grappler, a great takedown artist, so he's going to be possibly shooting from a long distance and overextending on Sean O'Malley to where he could get caught by a right hand down the pipe, a flying knee right up the middle, or something like that in that specific striking department. Now, the other thing that Merab Dvalishvili does that's really, really bad is, especially when he throws that right hand, he drops that right side of his body open to a counter left hook. Marlon Moraes caught him with a left hook. Henry Cejudo caught him with a left hook, which both rocked Merab Dvalishvili. And Merab's biggest thing is his gas tank. So if you could really shift his gas tank from, conservative energy pace to having to worry about injuries and different stuff like that, it's going to really help Sean O'Malley in this fight gas Merab out, which, yes, it's going to be a very hard thing to do, but taking a little bit of steam off Merab's takedowns, a little bit of less, thought into his takedowns, not setting up his takedowns, is going to be a very major thing for Sean O'Malley to do early on in this fight. Now, Merab is very strong. He's a lot of power in his hands, and he kind of swings for the fences, but technique in the standpoint, he's going to 100% beat Merab because Sean O'Malley is so technical. He's so good from distance. He's such an amazing sniper in that UFC octagon. He can set up shots perfectly. You look at someone as good as Peter Yan on the feet. He's going to be able to set up and strike from a really long distance, and I think someone like Peter Yan is going to be, or has worse takedown defense than Sean O'Malley. Not saying that Sean O'Malley isn't the greatest, can't grapple because he didn't take Peter down and Peter took him down, but Sean O'Malley's grappling defense starts in the 3 stages where he kind of talks about his hands, breaking the takedown. He kind of can sprawl when he needs to, and he can get up from the bottom if he gets taken down by Merab. And I think that is going to be a very big thing that happens early on in this phase. I think Sean O'Malley is going to be able to get up from the ground, and I think that's going to deter Merab Dvalishvili from shooting a lot of different takedowns. But the other thing that I believe is, like I said, that takedown defense that Sean O'Malley possesses. His takedown defense and his submission threat is a lot better than a lot of different individuals think. Sean O'Malley has some of the best submissions inside the UFC. You just don't see it. He had a grappling match where he cut his opponent in a guillotine, which is something that was really, really, really impressive to see, especially from Sean O'Malley. Now, Merab Dvalishvili is going to have to be very careful from the guillotine, because if he shoots on Sean O'Malley and gets in a bad position, Sean O'Malley's guillotine is very strong, very tight, and very technical. If he could 100% catch Merab inside a different guillotine, which would deter him and ultimately make him lose the fight, because a guillotine is something that you really don't have to set up, really. It's just a feeling thing. If Merab shoots, Sean O'Malley feels the setup right there, Merab heads off to his side, and Sean O'Malley is able to get the arm under the neck to choke him out. So Merab Dvalishvili is going to have to be very cognizant of watching out for the different submission threats as he's bum rushing someone like Sean O'Malley. Ultimately, I think that these things are going to all lead to a absolute masterclass from Sean O'Malley. I think he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns. He's going to be able to watch the different strikes coming from the direction of Merab Dvalishvili. I think Merab is going to have to get really close to take Sean O'Malley down, because any sort of timing from Merab is going to be countered by Sean O'Malley's a knee or a punch or a body jab. Something like that is going to be able to deter Merab. So the only way I believe that he takes Sean O'Malley down is from a far distance. And I think Sean O'Malley is going to also be able to get back up from the ground, considering that Merab doesn't really have a submission threat. He's really just a ground and pound and control guy. Eventually, I think that this fight is going to go onto the feet, and I think that Sean O'Malley is going to eventually piece Merab up. Now, I'm not going to give an official prediction because I'm going to do that a little bit later, but I do think that Sean O'Malley is going to be a very dominant fighter in this match between Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below in the comment section if you think this is going to be one of Sean O'Malley's easier fights inside the UFC Bantamweight division. That Bantamweight division is absolutely loaded, and don't get me wrong, Merab Dvalishvili is an absolutely amazing fighter, but this stylistically for Sean O'Malley, I believe is going to be one of the easier fights, considering that Sean O'Malley's takedown defense is really underrated. He's a great striker who's going to be able to exploit some of Merab's hiccups in his striking department where he drops his left hand and right hands, and Sean O'Malley's going to be able to catch him there. But Sean O'Malley's going to also be able to time his takedowns right up the with some flying knees and some knees right up the middle like he did to Chito Vera. So I truly believe that Sean O'Malley is going to have an incredibly dominant performance on on September 16th at the UFC Noche main event, and I do think that Sean O'Malley is going to bring the champion and still. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help the channel grow. And while you're down there, please turn on the post notifications just so you guys are always updated with the latest UFC content and news. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.